Hello, Carol. Welcome to my podcast series. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good, thank you. Yes, thank you.
And what have you been up to recently?
Well, I've been up to quite a number of different things. So last year I became a new author and had my first children's book published, and that's really I've been busy with that, to be quite honest with you, because it's been independent publishing. I've had to do a lot of promotion myself. So once the publisher finished, publishing the book, then the rest of it is up to you. So, I've had to be writing to libraries to make sure I could get it into the libraries and try and engage into with social media and so forth, as well as trying to get schools on board as well. So in the October of last year, I did some assemblies and workshops in my local schools and so forth. So yeah, as well as some voluntary local community organisations. So it's been a busy 9 months, to be quite honest with you. Yeah.
So, what challenges did you face actually having the book published?
I think the biggest challenges is the marketing, because like I said, it's independent publishing. So whereas when you are published by a traditional publisher, I think they do a lot of that for you. And so for me, it was the really big challenging, because the market, the book industry is huge to navigate my way around. So how do you get your book into the libraries? The book has got to be with certain retailers and so forth, for the libraries to have access to the books, and just a lot of behind the scenes office work that goes into to getting your book out there, because mine is a children's book and I just didn't want it to write it and sit on the shelf. I want to make sure it reached the readers via the library. It is online. I've not been able to get it in physical into the bookshops as yet, because that's another lengthy process. So yeah, it's very challenging.
So, when was your first book published?
Last year, 2019.
And what is your book about?
It's a children book. It's the first in the series, and basically, it's Black children. I'm not sure if you're aware that they've been underrepresented in children's story and as main characters. So I'm a mother of three. Everyone's grown up and have fled the roof, so to speak. So I don't know if it would have been the same experience for you and for your parents when we were growing up. There were hardly any images of us being present in the books. Everything was written for the Europeans, so all the images, all the princesses, to me, all of them, nobody looked like me. Therefore, it's been a long-standing passion of mine to write. I grew up in the countryside of Jamaica, and in the island of Jamaica, and with my grandmother. And I was introduced to reading and writing at a very young age. I was fortunate that my aunt was a local school teacher, and she would be coming home, and introducing us. Some of the stories were quite advanced, to be quite honest with you. However, it wasn't until 40 years later, that I managed to. I had written before, but didn't know about how to go getting things published and so forth. And so in 2015, 2016, I was introduced to a publisher by another author, and having attended a workshop on writing, the writing skills and how you write a story, why do you want to write a story, what is the, and so I wrote my first children's book, which is really to educate and inspire, children to dream big, particularly BAME children, because I felt quite traumatized when I saw what was happening across America and to some extent here, the violence against Black men, and the men are fathers, their sons, their brothers. And I felt, if I felt traumatized, how must children be feeling when they're seeing these images, negative images come into the media in the home. And by coincidence, the Center of Learning for Primary Education, they were doing research, saying that it is so important for children not to be represented with one narrative. It's very important to them for them to have positive images of themselves, particularly in literature. And so here I am. I wrote about a little girl called Dolly May and growing up on top of the mountain with her grandmother Magi. And in that garden, Magi played some beautiful games about guess who you would like to be with when you grow up. And so I brought in some historical figures who have gone on and done some great things for humanity. So in the garden, the children had the opportunity to meet Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, Dr. Mayo Angelou, Mary Seacole, the Hidden Figures, which you all know about, and so forth, and several others that are not, we don't hear a lot of. Beautiful book. I've just done a week's Facebook Live of reading to parents in the evening. Yeah, been well received.
I also understand that you're a mentor. What type of mentoring do you do?
I do mentoring and coaching. My coaching and mentoring is on really personal development. So, for example, sometimes people may be stuck and not sure what kind of career pathway to take. And, to me, coaching is a great tool to help you when you're stuck to move on and how to work in the present. So that's it. I do that as well. Offering support and guidance, personal development.
So what does your personal development coaching involve?
It involves a one-to-one where I help people to set goals. A lot of us don't know what it means to set goals and how important goal setting are, and take them through that process of goal setting and an outcome, what it is you want at the end of it all, and how are you going to go about achieving your goal. So it's quite a simple process, to be quite honest with you, but a skill which is very, very helpful no matter where you are in life.
And what advice would you give to someone who wants to become an author?
Well, basically, I would sit down and I want to be looking with them, having a conversation about, why do they want to become an author, what is their story, what it is they want the world to know, what is that end message, what is the purpose of them wanting to write. And then you need to look at the skills that they need in order to become a writer. So, where are there any gaps in their knowledge that they need to go about and research about and so forth. Writing involves a process, a beginning, a middle, and an end. And then, I could refer them on to whether they need to go and attend workshops, etc., talk about the two different types of, from my experience now over the past couple of years, the difference between the traditional and the independent publishers. There's quite a big difference between them both.
So, Carol, what are your plans for the future?
My plans for the future... I have quite a big vision around my book. Obviously, I have finished book 1 and book 2. I am hoping to go down the traditional publishing route with the rest of the series, to be quite honest with you, because I feel I need that. With traditional publishing comes a lot of support as well. So, I can get the book worldwide across to children. And that's my deepest passion, is that I can get my work out there to reach children and to transform lives. So I'm going to continue to write and develop a business around my writing. Yes.
So, Carol, how can people contact you?
I can be contacted via email. I am on Messenger like yourself. I am on Facebook. I am on Twitter. I am on Instagram. So yes, I am on social media. And like I said, they can always message me via Messenger, or they can send me an email.
Okay, Carol Nelson, thank you very much for your time.